Risky? Yes. Could it fail? Yes. How do you win? Principles. Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Martin Williams. What I do is I help purpose-driven leaders discover, develop, and deploy their divine assignment so that they can reign in life on the earth without losing who they are. And in this session, what's most important to me is that I want to mentor you. I want to show you how royal decisions are made. If you're a king or queen, it's all because of how your head works and the decisions that you make cognitively on purpose. Emotion versus principle. When kings are making decisions, they know that there are emotions, but they also know that there are principles. Emotion is temporary. It doesn't last very long. It can shift in seconds or minutes, hours or days, but not principle. Principle is timeless. Once I'm in principle, it's timeless. It moves as it needs to move, but principles stay steady. They are foundational. They're pillars that in your life you're navigating. But this world can have you shifting between so many emotions by what happens. I'm telling you, I'm intentional about watching this in my life. Martin, are you getting ready to respond to this because of what someone said, or are you going to keep your face focused on what you're assigned to do? Timeless. You and I need to have that same attitude about what we're doing. Kings who live by emotions, they're fickle. They are indecisive. They're always in chaos because of their emotions. But kings who live by principle, those are the people who create kingdoms. That's the woman, the woman leader, the queen leader, that king leader in a female. If she is not moved by emotions, she builds kingdoms. But if she's tossed to and fro by every opinion, by every thought from everyone, it's impossible to build a kingdom in that way. So the test of maturity is how you make decisions under pressure. I was talking to just something I want to get close to you right now. I was talking to a good friend of mine and I asked him the question. He's very successful, very great coach. And I asked him, what is your number one success you have in your life? He told me what that was. And I said, what was that like? He said, listen to me, man. He's talking to me. Listen, you got to understand the principles, because your highest success will be the most risky thing you've done. And you only get that success through principle. So I'm telling you, you're not going to have the successes until you do the same. Risky? Yes. Could it fail? Yes. How do you win? Principles. Stick to the principles, not how you feel. Your feelings can lie to you. Principles don't. So we got to be close to these principles. In a big way, I use the Bible for everything. It's my source for everything. I love to read, but the Bible just brings it all home and it gives you real examples. Saul lost his kingship because he moved emotionally instead of waiting on Samuel. He did something he was not ordained to do. It wasn't his assignment. He didn't have the authority to do it, but he did it anyway. When he did it anyway, he lost his kingdom. He was such in a hurry, so emotional. I got to do this now. Where's Samuel? I got to do this now. So he made the sacrifice when it was Samuel that was supposed to do it. Lost his kingdom. You and I, without that wisdom, without understanding and being moved by emotions, I'm going to be too late. I got to do something. People, they're rushing me. They're telling me I got to sign the contract by today. Well, I'm going to sign it. No, you're not going to work or move emotionally. You're going to move by principles. Principles protect you in your assignment. He let people's impatience dictate his obedience. He lost it. Pressure exposes principle. Pressure exposes the principles that are around you. You always know what's in your heart when your plans get delayed. It's still there. Plans may be delayed, but these principles are still there. I'm not going to disobey these principles Because the enemy against that thing that you're working on right now doesn't attack your strengths. It attacks your standards, what you believe, your reactions in previous wars, your reactions in previous relationships and previous business opportunities. That's what the proverbial the enemy attacks. Not your strengths, but your standards. Because if we can take the standards away from you, the principles, the pylons, the pillars from your life, you'll never succeed. You'll have these dreams that never come to pass. Say it with me again. I am a king. I am a king. I live like a king. I think like a king. I make decisions like a king. Because I am a king. I'm not an imposter. That's who I am. Do you believe that? So the thing I want you to know, most importantly, is that principles are the laws of kingship. I walk by principle, not by what I feel, not by what I think, but I walk by the proven principles that have worked for me and they have worked for others. I do not negotiate my integrity. I do not negotiate my worship. I do not negotiate my standards. This is how I want you to react to this. I want you to find out what principle do you need to reestablish in your life right now to protect your next season. We have to talk about collective counsel. What is collective counsel? The bottom line is no king rules alone. Wisdom multiplies through counsel. Kings with crowns, there are other kings with crowns you need to merge with, talk to, get advice from, collaborate with, because you can't rule alone. If you're the only king in the region and everyone else is wild and out there, you're going to be attacked all the time. You are a royal person leading your territory. So there's got to be other royal kings around you that are doing the same thing. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many counsel around you, they succeed. With the right people around you, you have success. Counsel is not about consensus. We all agree. All of us, we agree on this. It's really about confirmation. Rehoboam inherited the throne from his father Solomon. He inherited the kingdom that David and Solomon built. And this is what happened to him. Listen to me closely. The elders who had seen a few generations, right? The elders told him, serve the people with humility. Serve them like a king that understands their problems, right? Now, but his young crew, Rehoboam's young crew, his generation, his generation said something different to him. The young men around him told him to rule with harshness, rule with an iron fist. He got two different pieces of advice, two different motivations, two different disciplines in which to make his choice. He rejected the wise counsel of the older men who had a record and knew how life worked. He rejected their counsel and he listened to his ego and he listened to the young men and he split the entire kingdom that his grandfather and his father had built. What am I saying to you? What am I trying to get across? The wrong voices can cost you the right vision. The wrong people you're listening to can cause you your kingdom. Kingdoms fail not because they don't hear from God or get good advice. They fail because they ignore those sent to interpret his voice for them. I said to a friend one day, you have some amazing people around you, and you have some other people around you who are knuckleheads. You seem to be listening to the knuckleheads because they're more like you. They're more your age. They're more in tune to the world that you are in tune to. And you're ignoring the advice you're getting from people who've been around a bit. They understand what happened, what's happening now, and what's getting ready to happen. I said, you would be wise. And I wasn't his counselor. I wasn't in his group. But I said, you would be wise to go back and listen to the folks who knows what's happened. They know the past, they understand the present, but they can see the future. You need to pay attention to that or you'll lose everything. I was so impressed. He said, I never thought about it this way. He went back, listened to the mentors that understood things, and he lived in success. He's still living in success. What would have happened to him if he'd listened to his peers? He would have lost everything in his business. Great leaders don't isolate themselves. They insulate themselves. They don't isolate, they insulate. They wrap themselves in relationships with others who understands and sees things they don't. People who see the terrain, people who understand what you're doing, who have better advice for you to use, right? Every entrepreneur, every pastor, every influencer needs at least 2 types of counsel. All of us need it. We need spiritual counsel because it keeps your motives pure. Your motives need to be kept pure. And you need strategic counsel, which keeps your methods sharp. You need motives right. You need right motives, but you also need the right methods. You need at least 2 of those kind of people in your life. Who is your counsel? Yes, I'm talking to you. Who is your counsel? And who is the crowd that's around you right now, that's encouraging you, that's pushing you ahead? Who's your counsel? They'll call you to task. And who are the people cheering you on? That mixture leads you to warfare that you win. Right now, hear me right now. Your next decision, if you don't have people in these 2 categories, that's your next decision. Who should they be? Maybe not names, but describe them. Go and look for these 2 types of people that'll help you with motive and will also help you with strategy. Changes everything. Some things you don't have to come up with that are new. There are people out there who know how to put this all together for you. You want them in your counsel. That's the idea that we all have to have. Counsel confirms your crown. You can't reign alone. You need to have other counsel around you. Kings aren't measured by what they say in public. They're measured by what they decide in private. Subscribe to this channel and go ahead and watch the next video.